we're about to embark on an adventure together. This is a box here by two little mice. And before we get going, we need to get ready. Because we're going on an adventure. We got a mission. Can't do a mission alone. Good thing I've got a companion here.
Thank you, Al.
We're doing unboxing of Outgunned Adventure. It's gonna go back and forth between us and the table here, Brandon. And look at this, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this because they have a retro VHS vibe
here. That is an incredible box. I love this production value.
This is a box of a bunch of different things.
It honestly, the distressed effect is fantastic. Kudos.
Look at that, Stretch Goals Volume 2.
Kudos on this box.
Yeah, with anything that has this font, it always gets me. There's this color scheme, you know.
You are, of course, referring to Iowa Smith, right?
Yeah, Iowa Smith.
Iowa Smith, the adventurer / professor.
Indiana Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's just so I didn't know much about this game or Outgunned. It caught my attention. I didn't realize it was this size of a book. I thought it was going to be a big. I like the digest size book.
Is that 6x9? Yeah, that's digest. It's not A5. A5 is a little smaller than that. Shadow Dark's A5. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, yeah, that's probably 6x9 digest. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I was captivated by this. Here, look at this. This was filled with a bunch of stuff. Action Flicks Volume 2.
This is super cool. So this is a multi-genre sort of setup?
Outgunned is the baseline book. This is Outgunned Adventure. That is a standalone genre book for cinematic action RPG Outgunned, which uses this Outgunned mechanic, which is, I guess, kind of like Yahtzee, if I were to boil it down.
Yeah. You're telling me about this.
A pair or three of a kind or four of a kind. That's the mission. Don't delve too far into it. We might run that. And what is that? The Fall of Atlantis?
Yeah, this is Mission Dossier: The Fall of Atlantis, a 3-shot campaign for Outgunned Adventure.
Okay, nicely detailed. I love that even some of the art sort of depicts. There's one that really summarizes the type of. Yeah, this one. I love this one piece of art. Because you want 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind. Obviously the hardest. And this is the difficulty class, so to say. Yeah, roll difficulty. To get an extreme, you need whatever, 3 of a kind. Or 4 of a kind. Go ahead, you can look through that.
Blown away. I want to smell this book. Ooh, it's got that soft matte finish. I like that.
Nice.
That's something I've been seeing a lot more of lately. And it's got that crisp, glossy. Well, it's not really glossy paper actually. It's like a semi-matte, semi-gloss. There's a little shine to it, but it's definitely a heavyweight paper.
Oh.
Which I appreciate. That's a screen.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And I'm not one to use a screen, but I put it off to the side, and I've always imagined a screen sets the tone. Screen sets the tone. This is the game we're playing now.
I love a screen. I appreciate having all my notes and stuff behind the screen, and there are screens of varying quality in terms of the content that is facing the GM. But yeah, based on the game you're playing and the particular screen, because some games have multiple screens and sometimes you spend a lot of money on the right screen for you. I appreciate having all that information easily accessible at my fingertips. So that's a cool screen.
I've gone back and forth. I'm putting it off to the side like I usually do so you can peer further in. Break this to cause a distraction or to defeat an enemy thanks to your knowledge.
That's cool.
The pencil itself is an artifact. Yeah, it was one of those, like, I like the simple core mechanic. I think this is going to be pulpy from an action standpoint, from a mechanic standpoint. I think the theme could play into that. And I've been in this RPG renaissance of sorts, which you've been a part of as well recently, Brandon, with our Shadow Dark game, our ongoing Shadow Dark game. And obviously I'm inundated now with too many games, too little time. Adventure deck.
What is going on there?
There's all sorts of stuff.
Oh, enemies.
Luck. Keys. Run. Trap, maybe.
Cool.
Nagiri, the supernatural enemy. Interesting. Trope. Fortune Seeker. Yeah, these are like your roles. You want to play the technician?
I'm looking at the technician.
No
I'm
way.
looking at the list of roles right now,
Oh, wow,
actually,
that's,
in the book.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I should see the character sheet. Traps.
It's pretty interesting here.
Yeah, I like, cards are interesting to me. I like a good prop. I like a good, information pamphlet, an information digest, which I think a card could definitely be. And I think it could seed how you play the game as well too, as opposed to doing a lot of prep. Like Shadow Dark has recently, inspired me to leave things more random than completely planned out, and I think a deck could provide that as well too. I haven't really gone into it, but I will admit I've been a stickler for walls of text. So sometimes people get a little too wordy. I'm on the fence about this. It's like I ain't got time to read a book in my current phase of life, but obviously a lot of this stuff is like more reference than anything.
So this is actually interesting, just going back to the roles situation. So I'm going to read a very quick excerpt under the roles section of the standalone genre book here. Other roles. In the Outgunned core book, you can find 10 roles, perfect for any occasion, like the agent, the nobody, and the criminal. When playing Adventure, you are always free to use all the roles and tropes from Outgunned and other expansions if you feel they would be appropriate.
Yeah, so this is the Outgunned universe, and I think even right now they're running a Outgunned Adventure or superhero type of game as well too. Very very Marvel-esque, very Superman, you name it, whatever. But obviously non-licensed type of trope. What do we call it? The non-licensed metallic man.
Soups. We'll just go with soups.
Stuff like that. So it's all able to be paired together. You can mix them all together in terms of their compatibility because it's all the underlying same mechanic.
I dig it.
Which was cool and nice. I don't think I need everything. I like Outgunned Adventure, and I'm sure you could distill it down to reverse engineer the regular Outgunned, Matrix style or Constantine style or whatever game that you want to play.
I mean, there's a lot of these roles that are applicable across genres that are just within the adventure book.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, Daredevil, Guardian, Captain, Hunter, Heart, Star, Professor, Technician, Scoundrel, Smuggler. Like, that covers a pretty wide gamut of what you would see in any sort of cinematic.
Right. Yeah, it's like a reskinning.
Exactly.
Here's where I think you're gonna love, Brandon.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Shoot 'em up.
So these are D6s.
These are D6s, and I think I failed explaining it last time when we were talking about this unboxing or talking about this game of the mechanic, and you'd probably look it up. The I'm not even gonna do it justice. What is it? Death roulette. Here we go. Thank you, screen. Let me look at the screen right here. When an adventurer takes a spin on the death roulette, they roll a die. If the result is greater than the number of lethal bullets in their roulette, they have a narrow escape and add 1 lethal bullet. If the result is equal or less than that number, the adventurer is left for dead. These are bolded, unless a friend uses a spotlight to save them. So, if the result is equal to or less than the number, so 1, I rolled a 1 here. I'm left for dead. But I'm getting all geeky with the props here, and I gotta go through to see. I'm trying to find if Left 4 Dead is on here now.
Let's see. And in case anybody's wondering about the particular historical context for this, we are talking about the time period between 1918 and looks like 1939.
Here you go, Brandon. Here's your character sheet.
I love that. A passport? That's a cool prop.
Yeah, and multiple characters in here that you can have as well too.
I really like that.
See, here's the roulette.
That's really inventive.
So, you start ticking down numbers, and if you roll less than that, you're left for dead, which I can't quite see easily over here.
Now, you were saying that different conditions or near misses will increase the number that you have to roll above in order to avoid catastrophe?
Right.
Yeah.
If the result equal to or less than that number, the adventure is bolded left for dead. Unless a friend uses a bolded spotlight. So I like to bring these things out as well too, because we need to feel the clickety clacks here. This game doesn't need proprietary dice, but I figured if you're gonna go big, you might as well get. Something about the symbols, I think, would be a little bit more. I'm going to try it both ways. Trying it with their dice and then trying it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the numerical values. Yeah. But something about this might be a little bit more enticing to see. I just would be afraid, can this be confusing because they look very similar? And even on camera, I sort of see they're just 2 circles. Well, this is a hat, this is a compass. Obviously, they have some discrepancy, but this is me just being very finicky.
I mean, I think that we in our brains just have the numerical pips like ingrained from a cultural perspective. So there's sort of like a translation that might have to happen here, which is just adding a step to the process.
Yeah. I would almost go no pips. I would do the
numbers like
one
polyhedral, like gaming polyhedrals, as opposed to
pips, because I think sometimes, obviously, yes, you can see the pip, but like, a 4 and a 6, they kind of like 2 rows, so like you just kind of miscount, or you just like you misread real quick or whatever. Not done yet. Oh yeah, this is another thing I think you would enjoy as well too.
I'm sorry, they have a reference to Willie Scott in here, which I don't know. They also have a reference to Launchpad McQuack.
Awesome.
Dude.
DuckTales, yeah.
That's sick. And I will be taking advantage of that should we play this game.
Look,
there's rules on the back.
Read it. In case of camping, flip this coaster. Right?
But then I have to pick up my drink, Al.
Yeah, I know. Did you refuse to camp? Oh no, you want to camp because you pick up your drink to flip the coaster.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay. I'll be camping all the time.
Yeah, we're camping. You just want a drink. There you go.
Professor.
How you feel about this stuff?
Fold out posters.
This takes me back to like middle school.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like the big box heyday of like PC gaming, where you get all kinds of stuff, and some of it was just like, here's a poster, but then some of it was like, here's a map that you actually need for the game, and it serves as like copy protection, right? Oh, speaking of maps, I should just shut my mouth.
Yeah, they really went all out with this one, because they even give you the.
It's amazing.
Yeah, totally, right?
So, Alex, do you remember this big country here? Because I do, because I'm old.
I've heard about it in history class. I know this. You know, we touched upon this off camera, talking about playing games in real world history.
Yeah.
You know, in North Africa, West Africa, great.
Just a big chunk.
Yeah.
Like, there's some
touchy territory.
connotations there, yeah.
So I'm curious to see what this adventure is like, and see if it can be reskinned into a alternative but very similar feeling world that does not exist.
I mean, you know, I'm not going to read through this in great detail because we might run it, but at least this one is focused on Atlantis, which feels fairly safe to me in that regard.
Sure, but are we traveling to?
I mean, Greenland.
Okay.
Greenland is the jumping off point.
But
there.
should I play some characters for you from Burma, or how about we're traveling to Mandalay? How about, you know, Karaganda?
I suppose it depends on what you're doing there, who you're interacting with, and how you're interacting with them, right?
I suppose, right? Yeah, that's the key.
Well, so far Atlantis seems safe.
Two Little Mice is an Italian company, so this is a international as far as American standards.
Is that another poster?
This is the third one. Yeah, I opened up another one. This is a.
Now,
I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
So I understand. What level did you pledge this at? Would this come in like the lower pledges? It feels like you pledged pretty
kind
heavily.
Kind of mid-ish tier, like adventurer tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I didn't opt to get the previous Outgunned books, nor did I opt to get the Stretch Goals Volume 1 that you could have added on and stuff. So, pretty mid-tier, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, like over $100, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of cool stuff.
I added on a bunch because I wanted extra passports. Yeah, I wanted extra passports. I wanted extra character sheets.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, I wanted black and white dice because I feel like I could homebrew like a reroll white dice, you know, type of thing. You know, like having some discrepancy. I probably went a little bit overboard. I even got some of these.
What are these?
Luck token doubloons.
Look like doubloons, yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Like that.
I don't know why I asked.
I mean,
yeah,
feel these. Ooh, I feel like
feel these
you
too.
just.
Here, feel these too.
All right. I mean, there's some heft. This is cool, but I also gotta say, are you gonna turn invisible if you put that on?
I might. I might.
I gotta say, well, I mean, so these doubloons also, I mean, the bullets as well, but the doubloons have like a really nice heft and weight to them, which is...
You know what? It even fits my sausage fingers.
That's perfect.
You did good, Two Little
The
Mice.
laugh-raff phalanges over there.
The laugh-raff phalanges indeed. Wow, you did good. You did good.
Good stuff.
Wow, so this is Outgunned Adventure.
I love it. God.
This is all the gear, all the stuff. You got bags for dice. Oh, we didn't even show this off. This assistant director became a stretch goal, just a PDF. Then it became a stretch goal again to make it physical. Solo missions and
cool.
Solo rules and mission generator for Outgunned, which has become a whole thing in terms of solo play.
It's really interesting because that's not something I ever saw happening. Growing up, and then it seems like everybody's got some sort of permutation of solo play, which is cool.
Yeah, I have done it a little bit in Shadow Dark. I've recorded some solo plays in sign language, actually trying to do another thing, just doing other stories by myself. There's that personal mental hurdle to sit down and play.
Yeah.
Where with everyone here, you're like, okay, everyone's here, and I'm responsible for people's time or whatever, and like, okay, let's get going, let's get going. But when you're with yourself, you're kind of like, I don't know, this feels goofy or like.
Am I being productive right now?
Yeah, totally. It was a late night thing, and I should get back to it. But it's one of those like, I should paint my miniatures. I should read my book. I should open up the new box. I should prep my adventure. So this is and a mission generator. So I'm curious to see how the process of generating missions is done in this book. When there's time, we'll have to check it out. But
Yeah.
I would love to at least run this baseline adventure, or at least be inspired by it. I'm also interested from a design standpoint how the adventure is written, or at least suggested or shown, because I'm curious to see what they think a mission should look like in terms of
Content.
in terms
Yeah.
of prep and presentation. But the Outgunned Adventure, here you go. We unboxed it all for you, so we'll see when it makes its way to the channel. I wanted to throw out like, if we got 100 subs, we can start our Outgunned Adventure game. But at the very least, enjoy our story and channels for other games. We finished playing another game this tonight, but I'll only tease you with. But for now, we have other games coming down the pike, and Outgunned Adventure will have to be one of them as well too. So thanks for sticking around, enjoying our stuff.
Awesome.
Dope. 20 minutes.
That's great. That's great for an unboxing.
Yeah.